How's it going, everybody? It's Addicted to Knives. Welcome back. So we have on the table today is a Liang Ma Kuf 2.0. No, it's a Liang Ma Kuf or Cuff 2.0. This thing's freaking insane. It's built by Riot, so it's it's built well. The only problem I have really with it recently, which this is a loaner. Shout out to Backpack B. I love you, bud. Thanks for loaning me a couple knives. The only thing, one big gripe I've had with this recently is lock stick. If you thwack it a little too hard, now this is like the thwack king. Just that noise, you don't even have to thwack it out too hard and it thwacks. But if you do it really hard, not really hard, but just even a good a good one, it gets locked up pretty much. And not all the times, but sometimes it gets pretty bad and you really have to use two hands to get it open. So it's it's annoying. Now this thing does have the famous, I guess we can call it now, Teletubby, now I don't mind it, honestly. It is funny, but at the same time, that's why it's if I had the knife, I owned it, I wouldn't cut it off just because I think it's funny. Now without this, it definitely looks amazing. I mean, but with it, it still looks good. It looks good, and then it has that, which just makes you laugh. So, but it does look funny, but it works really well, really freaking well. That's the crazy part. It really does work well. So I have to give a shout out to Liang Ma for even thinking of that. That's something I've never seen. Now I've seen the ones that are up high here, but that is literally perpendicular with the it's a little bit it's perpendicular with the pivot, so it's right on top of the pivot. So the leverage you get with that was my fault, I slipped on it, is just it's so easy. Doing this is just money. Now listen to this. Best sounding knife, period. Now this is the stunner. Now listen to this. See, it's got that real sharp kind of noise. Now you got this. That's kind of like a clunk. It's not as sharp. It's got that clunk to it. I don't know. It's unique. It's really unique. You don't really all the cuffs have it, which is, I had the Liang Ma Field Duty EDC or the EDC Field Duty or Field Duty EDC. Yeah, I said it right the first time. It had similar, but I always chalked that sound up because it was a monoblock G10 design. This isn't monoblock G10. This is titanium with micarta inlays. So I think that's crazy. And I think what it is the way he designs his the stop pin. What it is there's a cutout in here, right in the blade. So the stop pin is right here, if you could see it. So there's a cutout in the blade right here. But then it stops at a certain point to lock up. Because see, there's nothing in there. Right here. It's right here. So there's all that open room back here, like right in front of that. So if you see, you can still see it like right in there. And I've noticed the Field Duty had the same thing. Now I don't know if the larger one is the same way, but I know the EDC is, and it had the same similar kind of clunk to it, and I think it's that design. Trying to think of another knife that has that same design. I know there is, but I don't think I could think of one off the top of my head, at least that I have. Oh, yes I do. This has the same, it doesn't always do it, but if you get it right with this flipper, see how it's a little further back. It's not so up front, but if you can see, it still has that same cutout, and it still goes. But if you get a good, flick to it, like a front flip, it does do it. Not as much, but it doesn't have as much of a clunk to this one as this does. But it still has a lower pitched, sound than per se like a normal, like, that normal clack. It's more of, these are more of like a clacking sound. This is more of like a thunk. And I think it's because of that design. It's gotta be. Because these are just all normal, actually these aren't normal stop pin. This is actually inset, which the stop pins are in the blade, and it is actually milled out here, and that is what's stopping it. So there's a bar that goes through the blade, and it rides in this pocket, and it's on both sides. That is cut out, this pocket, so when it gets to here at the stop, it's like lined up perfectly. Like you gotta understand, like, I know if you're watching this, you're probably in the knife community. If you've ever taken one of these, like, apart, it's insane. Now this is a free pivot, a free spinning pivot, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to take apart. So I'm really not going to take this apart. And it's not mine. I was given the okay to take it apart, but I don't know. Now, something that I did think was weird when I first saw this was how they have this, like, chamfer inside the hole. Like, it's very strange. Like, it goes through, and it's, like, in the middle. Like, it's very strange. I didn't understand what that is, and I thought, oh, you might feel that, but there's nothing. You don't feel it at all. So it's kind of cool because it kind of gives it like a little different aesthetic when you're like looking at it. It's like, oh, that's different, So I got to give it to Leon for that. And his design language is just immaculate. Like this like the design and the flow of this, like it all just flows so good together. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the cuff line is actually designed as like a kind of a kitchen utility type of thing, like all around, you can use it in the kitchen, but you could still use it as an everyday carry, EDC, type thing. It's amazing in the kitchen, let's just say. Like, if you see how the blade, if you hold it back here, the blade and your knuckles are pretty much, they're not completely in line, but you can maneuver yourself pretty easily to where your fingers the blade's gonna hit the ground without your finger, without their, your fingers having no room. It's gonna have room. So most blades, let me pick a blade. Okay, here we go. MBK mini no guard. Now see how if I put my hand here, like if I were to cut on the ground, I have to literally go like this, so you're not getting that much you're not getting that much blade. You're not really able to use more than a quarter of it at a time, if that. That's like, if that. But this, you can literally use that whole blade. You can literally do some rock chopping. So it is an amazing blade for that, for like food prep and stuff like that. I will give it that. Which, I mean, honestly, I know for me personally, I do a lot of, kitchens like stuff. I do a lot of stuff in the kitchen with my knives, a lot. That's why, something like KPL, Knife Shield is a godsend, because it's, food safe and stuff like that. So, it's just, it's just great. If you do want KPL, anything from KPL, use A.T.K 10. You get 10% off. So go check that out. Little plug there if you didn't notice that. But help both of us out. So Liam Ma, his designs are just ingenious. I don't think I've seen I don't think I've handled a design that I didn't like, and I didn't wouldn't not own. Honestly, if I had the money, if I had, obviously there's knives that there's different knives that interest me more, but if I had the money to spend, I would buy it. Right now things are tight, so but I can see myself getting one of these in the future for sure, 100%. May it be one that was modded with this cutoff, or one that's different, a little bit modded. Another interesting thing, I know I'm going off of this, but the way this backspacer is, I actually showed this to my mother, and she said that the backspacer, how this is like this, how it's like raised. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. She thought that was so cool. She's like, wow, that's neat. So, my mom's 70 years old, and she's like, wow, that's really neat. So it made me laugh. Pocket clip, it's a little tight, but it functions really good. I will say that. It's got plenty of clearance. It comes up to the edge plenty. It doesn't really stick out that much. Maybe that, which, I mean, you really can't complain about that. And it's thin. It rides the pocket really well. I really, really do like that, how it fits in the pocket. It's really thin. Thinner than I thought, honestly. Because if I remember correctly, the EDC wasn't that thick, but it wasn't that thin, I think, because of the monoblock design. But this, they did this thin. I always thought this was kind of weird too, how thin this lock bar design is. And I think that might have something to do with the lock stick, because I heard a couple people that I talked to that have the same knife have that similar problem. But I also, there is no lock bar or steel insert, so I guess if it may need a titanium or carbonization, a recarbonized, because I'm pretty sure it came carbonized, I would imagine, I would hope. But so but you put a little graphite on there, it works, for the time being. It works, it works pretty well. So yeah, I definitely give this a like 2 thumbs up, because this is definitely one that I want to purchase down the line. I really don't have just little tiny itty bitty things, but it's nothing to the point where, like, I love the design to enough to where, okay, that little thing, okay, it's a nitpick. It's not an annoyance to the point where it's like, no, that would never go in my pocket. Nope. So I think the only big kind of annoyance that like would deter a little bit going in the pocket would be this lock bar needing to be carbonized. Now, if it was carbonized, like if you send it out to like Knife Monitors or something like that, that stick will go away like that. A lot of people complain about the lock bar access. I really don't have too much of a problem doing it. I guess I can see it being a little bit better if this side was knocked down a little bit more. But honestly, if it didn't have lock stick, I don't think it would really be a problem at all. None. So, for me at least. That is, my thumb is actually not too, beat up right now, so who knows when, in a couple of days when something happens and my thumb gets all fucked up like normal, I may have a different, maybe singing a different tune, let's just say. So that was the Teletubby knife, and Leon, if you're watching this, that was not a shot saying that your knife is bad in any way. I'm saying it because I like it. It's functional and everything. It makes me smile. So and if a knife can make me smile, honestly, then I can see it, because every time I pull it out of my pocket and I go to flick it, it makes me smile. So why wouldn't I freaking carry it, So that's a plus in my book. You don't want to pull out a knife and just be like, oh, it's this knife again, So I consider that a plus. But the blade steel, which I have to look at, which I think it's M390. Yes, I know he does a lot of M390. I think some of his older stuff is S35VN. But, I've handled a couple of his older, stuff. I've heard a few things where he's ordered so much stuff that, because, he's an early, designer, like, into our type of knife production, like, Riot made, like, I think he exclusively goes to Riot to get his stuff built. And he doesn't do pre-orders, really. I think his first pre-order is actually for the 3.5 Field Duty EDC, or Field Duty, not the EDC version, just the regular 3.5 inch Field Duty, because there's a 4-inch version, or a 3, I think it might be close to 4-inch. So it's a smaller version of it, but it's just the regular. It's like the full titanium version. So that's the first pre-order. Now it's been quite some time. So and that's because Riot is backed up, and he only deals with Riot. So it's understandable. Like, everybody doing that spent their money on that pre-order knew up front that it was going to take a while. So that's, neither here nor there, because that's, we all knew that. But just he ends up, before he did his pre-order, that's what I was getting to. he used to order, like, he didn't know, like, oh, the one with, I don't even, Green My Carta, I think this was, the version with Green My Carta isn't really going to sell that much, so let's only have the distributor make, X amount that's sold, like how pre-orders can do. Now, he was doing was, well, let me get, a 300, Green My Carta. Let me get 300, carbon fiber. Let me get 3. He was just ordering it without knowing which was going to sell more. And in that case, he ended up actually having leftover knives, and he's had them for a while. And it's sad because some of these knives are fucking amazing. Like, they stand up to any of the production knives that are coming out right now. I've handled a few of his older models, and they're amazing. So, I don't know why they're still sitting on the shelves. So, but, I guess it's just different, different design languages. It kind of evolves into, people's tastes different. It's just like how, I'm trying to think, like how in the 60s everybody had a certain, dress, the way they dressed and stuff like that. And then in the 80s and the 70s, or the 70s, the 80s, and and so on and so on. The knife world does the same thing, kind of. It's just a little bit faster in my point of view. Like right now it's all the Poon Spoons and the Warncliffes, and even though this is a Warnie, but this is a newer type of model in the past year or so. So I don't know what this was for. But I'm kind of just ranting and raving right now, so I don't know why I'm dragging this out. So, alright, people, hit that like button. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to end it at that because I am really beat. I'm tired. It's late. I probably shouldn't have been doing this. That's why I'm kind of ranting and raving, because I'm really just kind of, I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time right now. So, I got a couple more to finish up tomorrow. So, and then I got to send a couple of things out. I do want to give one quick shout out, though. Big Red, I got your package, and I still didn't forget about you. Stuff's just been hectic. I will send you out a sticker package. But I got yours. See, I put yours out. I love the stickers, by the way, though. I love them. So what do we got here? We got a Saturday Knife Live. Ooh, and it's an easy peel sticker. Ooh, I've never seen that before. Zugmonster.com. I've never seen that. Wow, this feels really thick, really nice. Ooh, this is pretty cool looking. What do we got here? Oh, well, I guess that's a slip joint, but that's awesome. Big Red EDC. And then we got the big old sticker, the 3-incher. Thanks, man. And then we got here, Lewis, appreciate you doing the swag swap. Take care, my friend. Thanks, I appreciate it. And I will get you yours out. I know it's been a while. And for some odd reason, like, this sat in my mail, like, in the mail, like, forever.